his name was mentioned, please be silent on that. We have an agreement already. Okay. So the text of a press conference by the Labour Party on the development in the party, particularly on the illegal NEC meeting holding in Bauchi today, the ongoing court cases, an allegation of forgery against our national chairman, Barrister Julius Abure. Let me sincerely thank you for keeping faith with the Labour Party and reporting us very, very well since the battle for the soul of Nigeria commenced last year, with the emergency of His Excellency Peter Obi as our presidential candidate for the 2023 election. As you already know, the battle was fierce and horrible. Nigerians spoke with a loud voice. But the agents of darkness had other agenda of their slaves. They earlier warned that power is not served a la carte, that it must be fought for, grabbed, seized, and run away with. The lesson we have come to learn in a better way today, instead of celebrating and getting ready to be sworn in as a ruling party come May 29th, we have found ourselves trying to get back our mandate through the tribunal. What a sad story. One of the lessons we learned is that these agents of darkness can go all the way to destabilize a political party by infiltrating its leadership and planting molds who are, of course, heavily compromised to ensure that the party loses focus. Heart of men are desperately evil, and who can know it all? So says the good book. We also learned, though painfully, that there will always be a Judas in every 12. In our own case, about 6 of our former leaders who are now suspended and led by Lamidi Apapa, a suspended deputy national chairman, chose to paint their legs black for a few words of naira to betray the worthy cause of reclaiming Nigeria. They sold their conscience to the devil and made money their mammon. So I address you now, 6 of them, in furtherance of the directives from their paymasters, are meeting in Bauchi for a fake and unlawful NEC. Surprisingly, this is coming barely 2 weeks after the party held its very successful NEC in Asaba, Delta State, that was attended by virtually all NEC members, including 36 states, chairmen and secretaries, all members of National Working Committee, most of the elected members of the National Assembly, leaders and presidential candidates of the party, including Mr. Peter Obi, party trustees, including the Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC, all of them were present and in their numbers. One of the invitees of the purported NEC is our leader and presidential candidate, Peter Obi, who incidentally, just this Monday, was in a national television where he referred these characters as paid agents and as hirelings. He also made it clear that he had never met with the so-called Apapa all his life, and that there were no issues in the party, and that the reported crisis is just the rascality by paid agents bent on derailing the party to pursue justice. He said, and I quote, "In the Labour Party, we have no issues. Barrister Abure is our chairman. And those things you are seeing are just the handiwork of paid agents who are trying to create confusion. They also invited the state chairman of our party to their meeting. Gentlemen of the press, seated here in the hall are all the state chairmen of the party across the 36 states. Please put your hand together if you're state chairman, including the secretaries. Only last night, all our 36 members of the House of Representatives and our 8 senator-elect were represented in a caucus meeting held with the NWC. Then again I ask, who are these NEC members? They are hoping to attend the Jamboree in Bauchi. Article 13(2)(a) of our party constitution is clear on the composition of the Labour Party NEC. They include our state chairman and secretaries and all other officers, as I've just mentioned. The constitution did not state that expelled and suspended members of the party shall convene a NEC of the party. In their desperation to satisfy their paymasters, who we have already established to be 2 governors, one from Southwest and another from Southeast, who is hoping to have an election very soon, while also using a top member of the APC National Working Committee, a very top member of the party, who serves as a go-in-between for this transactional arrangement. And they have also gone ahead to start recruiting their usual customers, who are touts, market women, street hawkers, and people who are not members of the party at all. They don't even know the party at all. We also have it on a reliable source that they will attempt to have a blanket suspension of all our elected members of the NWC, a power that is alien, totally alien and unheard of. They have also been dangling carrots to some of our leaders here to either join them or be suspended. This is unfortunate because were it not for the ex parte order of the FCT High Court, mischievously granted and sustained by Justice Hamza Mwazu, which dangerously exposed the rest, that is the party, to danger. Instead of protecting it, this matter would have died a natural death. We have it on good authority that their sponsors are leaving nothing to chance and have vowed to continue to instigate crisis in Labour Party, with the intention of benefiting from the instability which they hope will affect the party's case at the tribunal. Let me also use this opportunity to intimate you on the legal tussles under purview. It's important that the media and, of course, my members know about this, the so-called legal tussle. On the 5th of April 2023, an Edo High Court restrained Labour Party executives of Ward 3, Aro Romi, Edo State, from suspending Barrister Julius Abure as National Chairman of Labour Party. In the case filed before His Lordship Justice E.O. Ahamioje, Julius Abure, on behalf of other claimants, filed a motion ex parte against the defendants, including one Thompson Ehigiose, who is the Ward 3 Chairman, Lucky Shuaibu, and the Labour Party. The enrollment orders include, but not limited to, an order of interim injunction restraining the party or offices of the party from suspending or expelling Abure pending the determination of the motion on notice. On this, Justice Ahamieje, after consideration of the claims, granted interim injunction restraining the defendants from suspending Abure. Same day, that same day on the 5th of April, An Abuja High Court, presided over by Justice Muazu, also issued an ex parte order restraining Abure and 3 others from parading themselves as national officers of the party. Armed with the order, Apapa and his dissident group, like uncaged lions, without the approval of the neck of the party, procured the services of thugs, police, and DSS, and marched to the national headquarters of the party, massively attacked the property, pulled down the fences, pulled down the burglaries, pulled down the doors and windows to have access to our secretariat. In the process, sacked workers and party members who were at the secretariat. They took files away. They took computers, financial documents, among others, including going as low as sparking bottles of wine and other gift items found in offices. In fact, they stripped the headquarters bare. For emphasis, the Edo State High Court and the FCT High Court are courts of equal and coordinate jurisdiction. It amazes one to note that while they are quick to respect the order of the FCT court, they flagrantly dishonored the Edo court's orders, even when they are fully aware of the consequences of their actions. Within minutes of the brutal invasion, they reversed most of the decisions passed by the legally constituted NWC, for which all of them played active roles. They overturned the suspension of the former National Youth Anselm Irabe and the former National Publicity Secretary Abayomi Arabambi. They went ahead and awarded themselves titles and offices in contravention of the court order. I'll pause here to tell you our worries about the absurdity and abnormality of the ex parte order granted by Justice Muazu, which has since emboldened these dissidents. An ex parte order is granted to protect the rest. That is the property. And who is the property here? The party. The current and legally elected leadership. The rest is Abure, without doubt, who is the chairman of the party. Ex parte order is granted on an extreme emergency. For ex parte order to be granted, it means that the matter must be an urgent one. If it is not granted within 48 hours, something will happen or someone may die. There was nothing urgent in this matter. So the judge is not supposed to grant it. It is when there is a strong threat to the rest of property or the property is going to be destroyed that the order can be granted. Ladies and gentlemen, Rule 43, Order 3 of the FCT law states that an ex parte order lasts after 7 days. It expires after 7 days. But the judge mischievously, in awarding the order, stated that it will be pending until the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. It means that he must determine the motion on notice, however long time it takes. We fear that the order is now beginning to take the shape of an interlocutory. Order ought to be a short term, but it is becoming a long, like an interlocutory, which lasts throughout the pendency or the lifetime of the matter. We are, however, relieved that on the next adjourned date of May 12th, we invite you please to be part of that historic day. The court will make a definite ruling on jurisdiction brought before it, which we insist it does not have. The court does not have the jurisdiction. We have also taken note of Justice Mwazu's frivolous issuances of ex parte in the past, even where there was no need for that. A similar case happened in Kano recently, where he granted an ex parte order that has to do with the criminal application against the APC, which resulted to serious crisis in the party. The leadership of the APC in that state appealed the order, and Court of Appeal said he didn't have the power to give such order. Supreme Court also affirmed the decision of the appeal court. Once there is a criminal element in an affidavit in support of an ex parte application, then the party is put on notice, because ex parte is what you hear from one side. In this case, we were not put on notice in a weighty criminal allegations. So the judge has even sentenced us without hearing from us. What was the implication of that? It has given the impression to the whole world that we are criminals, even without hearing from us. That is why they are parading the order everywhere. Ex parte order is almost being condemned by the Supreme Court because it is against the spirit of fair hearing. NJC policy is also very clear. It has given direction severally that the ex parte application should no longer be fancied and that judges must avoid it. In the first instance, one may ask why the appellant went to court asking Abure others to restrain themselves as officers of the party. They had claimed forgery and perjury, but these were another calculated attempt to destroy the party leadership and probably make the party unattractive. Recall that late last year, former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, joined Labour Party and subsequently emerged the presidential candidate of our party. As expected, there were a flurry of activities with many politicians gravitating towards our party in virtually all the states of the Federation. In Ebonyi State, our party structure was not so strong. However, with the new development, a lot of people started showing interest. I'm trying to tell you the case behind that forgery that they kept saying everywhere. On a particular occasion, the former youth leader, Anselm Erabe, was accompanied to the National Secretariat alongside one Splendor, Eze, and some other persons from Ebonyi State who claimed they were willing to defect from other political parties to Labour Party. On the recommendation of the youth leader, the former youth leader, Mr. Splendor Eze was appointed as the Ebonyi State Chairman and was given the task of reorganizing the party. 2 weeks later, it was time to conduct governorship primaries, and we didn't have someone who was ready to run for the governorship. As the state chairman, he was instructed to put his name as a placeholder, with an understanding and agreement that he will relinquish the position when we have a capable candidate. Subsequently, an aspirant with capacity indicated interest to run under the platform of the party. Splendor Eze then voluntarily withdrew, signed and submitted relevant documents upon which a fresh primary was conducted, and Edward Ubwego emerged as the candidate of the party. Few days later, Mr. Splendor Eze came to the National Secretariat with one Fidelis Mwango, claiming that there was a candidate he prefers, and that he's the one he would want to step down for. Of course, the party, having conducted its primaries and elected Mr. Mbwego as his candidate, can't reverse his stand in line with the Electoral Act. Mr. Eze, as stated earlier, was only a placeholder. He was not in a position to dictate to the party. He didn't buy form. He didn't pay for the expression of interest. He didn't even pay for the nomination. The form was given to him free of charge. Therefore, the issue of dictating to the party does not arise. So he left and swore to deal with the party, a threat we never took serious. To our utmost consternation, what we saw was a petition to the Commissioner of Police on the allegations of forgery against the national chairman. Of course, the police invited the national chairman, but he came at the heat of the campaigns, and the party explained to the police in writing the constraints before it. But whether mischievously or erroneously, the police said they got a bench warrant and wrote an interim order, which they are now parading. But the police stated emphatically in that order that it should they wrote the letter without hearing from the accused. And in the letter, the police also said that it was not subjected to any legal counsel. They did not sought for any legal counsel. And that the content of the letter, that they should not be held responsible at all, stated on that letter they have been parading. However, the national chairman, after the campaigns, reported to the police, which of course obviated the warrant of arrest. So the warrant arrest they are parading is worthless and of no consequence. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to let you know that the police, we have policemen in the office. So if the police is looking for you, they will not find it difficult to even tell their personnel to pick you up. So that warrant of arrest that be parading is of no consequence, because the police is actually not looking. The person you say you are looking for has already presented himself and the police and made statement and left. But anywhere they go, they keep parading the letter that there is a search warrant. Are you arresting someone that is always where police can see him? So that is the issue. That's how they are deluding themselves and deceiving themselves. Now, please listen very carefully. On the issue of the forged signatories, the party also presented a fact before the police that both the nomination form, which Mr. Splendor filled, and the withdrawal form, which he also filled, were all signed by him. Those forms did not pass through the chief. Rather, they passed through the clerical office, who uploaded what they gave him directly to INEC portal. So those documents were his. If he is claiming that he is the candidate of the party, who signed his form? The signature in the nomination form is the same, and the withdrawal form, the same signature signed by him. The same, if he's claiming that oath was forged, who forged it? Because it was still the same signature that he went to God and signed.
He forged himself.
So that means he forged himself. Those are his documents. So we stand here to say that he was the one that went to God to swear the oath and brought it to the office, and it was uploaded to INEC. But it dawned on the party that ab initio Mr. Splendor had planned and conceived evil against the officers of the party, because those documents were purely his documents. They carry his photographs. Did we snap his photograph for him? He appended his photograph, his passport on it. Those were the documents he submitted, like I said. It wasn't the responsibility of the national chairman to start investigating his signature. So it is our opinion that all the hula baloo are all political gimmicks hashed to whether the progress being made by the Labour Party. Apapa and his gang are aware of what the party constitution states as to how you can remove the national chairman. Article 17(1) subsection 1, the national chairman may be suspended or removed from office with a vote of confidence passed by 2/3 majority of the National Convention. Telling you how a national chairman can be removed. NEC cannot even remove the national chairman. It is only the National Convention called purely for the purpose of that. So no one can remove the chairman. The NEC cannot remove, because I'm sure what they are doing there now is part of what the kangaroo thing they will come out with. The courts have heard severally that issues of party leadership is an internal affairs of a political party for which the courts have no jurisdiction. Let us look at some of these characters that are now working hard to destroy the party. Let us look at them. These men who have no known means of livelihood, a few days ago, recently flew into Owerri on a private jet and have continued to lodge in 5-star hotels in Abuja here. How did they suddenly become stupendously rich? Within a period of 2 months. A period that coincided with the general election. Alongside Lamidi Apapa are some of the kingpins, including the National Legal Advisor, Samuel Akimbade, ex-National Financial Secretary, Benga Daramola, ex-National Youth Leader, Anselm Rabwe, and of course, Arabambi, who was the former and expelled former National Publicity Secretary. Gentlemen of the press, 6 months ago, Rabwe, the SY former leader, was suspended based on allegations of forgery, issuance of certificates to groups unknown to the leadership of the party without the approval of the National Working Committee or even the national chairman. The launch of a fund mobilization website to receive funds without approval of the National Working Committee. It went across Nigeria, sent letters to various diaspora members of the party soliciting for funds to run a project without the consent of the party or even the knowledge of the national chairman. And he was found to be sending official letter to some individuals, like I said. The party dashed him a senatorial ticket without paying a dime. Yet he openly hobnobbed with our major foe, and he deliberately worked against the aspiration of our presidential candidate. A development the party viewed as gross misconduct and a disobedience to the Constitution. The pictures are all over. If you don't have, let me know, I'll give you pictures where he was even with the presidential candidate of APC, with all the leaders in Edo State that are all over the net. For Arabambi, the former National Police Secretary, who was one time LP State Chairman in Ogun State, politics for him is all about money. Money is the game. he was given an assignment to ensure that the party's candidate for the Senate and House of Representative positions in both Lagos and Ogun State were listed in INEC portal for the general elections in 2023. Not knowing he is an agent of the opposition, he bungled it, having been given huge amount of money and having been promised a slot in the incoming Ogun State government. After collecting millions of naira from party in Lagos State into his personal bank accounts, purportedly for legal fees and other ancillary expenses in respect of the matter, Arabambi still went ahead to work against the party. He even refused to hand over the case file after he was busted. These actions caused the party the opportunity to field legislative candidates in Lagos State. The party suspended him after a plethora of evidence of his treachery and deception and other anti-party activities. Gentlemen of the press, the pictures of Arabambi where he led a group of discredited and renegade members of the party to Ogun State to endorse Governor Abiodun is all over the net. Abiodun was a candidate of another party, and he went there and raised his hands and asked people to vote for a candidate of another party in an election where his own party is fielding a formidable candidate. And this is supposed to be the spokesperson of Labour Party. What an impudence. On the part of the suspended legal advisor, Samuel Akimbade, he scuttled most of our cases all over, from Benue to Ogun, from Edo to Rivers. He was at some time caught and confronted with evidences of forgery by the NWC, where he shamefully tendered apologies. He tendered apologies. Only last week, he was busted again for approaching some of the tribunals to withdraw all the cases lodged by Labour Party. Labour Party candidates across board. It was going from state to state. It was in Edo State, and our lawyers told us it was in Rivers State, particularly in Obiabo local government. Our lawyers told us. In Lagos, there were so many of them. And we don't even know to the extent they planned to carry that hatchet job until they were busted and we made it known all over. Since that time, they've been running from pillar to post to defend themselves. And like we said, the S position was received with wide condemnation and variously described as height of subterfuge and treachery. Before I conclude, I've been just told that Arabambi worked against the party, not just in Ogun and Lagos, but across the entire Southwest. I've just been noticed. We urge members of the public and our teaming supporters to continue to disregard the activities of Apapa and his cohorts, particularly the so-called NEC meeting, which they are hoping to hold in Bauchi. And like we have been told earlier, they have kept changing venue from one venue to the other. Nobody, at the end of the day, they may just go to one room and hold themselves because there are only 6 members. And they are likely going to employ the services of touts, market women, because the seated before us here The majority members of the NEC, they're all here. Majority members of the NEC, they're all here. So who are they meeting with in Bauchi? Their desperation and their taste to satisfy their BIM master is very, very high. Let me thank you most sincerely for giving us your ears and hearing us.